Hi, this is Vicki with Transcending Limits, and I am here to talk to you today about my upcoming class called Design90. And I'm really excited about this class because it's going to be the foundation of helping you create and design the next 3 to 12 months of your world. So, if you have followed along with me at all or know me much, you know that I'm very passionate about the fact that we have the ability to intentionally design and create our life and our world the way we want it to be. Now, sometimes we don't know how all that's going to unfold, but we can begin with the end in mind by visualizing and seeing what we want to create, and that partners with our unconscious mind to bring in the powers to answer questions that need answers, and it also partners with this greater power in the universe to help bring things together in our world. So, coming up, I'm going to be teaching a class called Design90 that builds on creating a life focus wheel. Now, life or business. So, this can be used very powerfully whether you are wanting to reshape the whole direction of your life or reshape the whole direction of your business, or whether you are looking to just reshape one segment of it. So I break life down into, kind of 4 or 5 categories. So there's our mental world where our thoughts and our emotions that all happen in going on daily that drives so much of our outcomes. There's our physical world, which can be our house, our relationships, our health, so many things in that physical world. There is our emotional intelligence world, which is how we relate to people, how we solve conflicts, how we communicate. Huge, so many things happen in that emotional intelligent world. And then there is our financial and career world. And that is all tied together by our heart center or spiritual world, living from a really connected space of being connected with our own internal GPS system. So, what Design90 is going to do is it's going to help you take a snapshot of where you're at today in each of those worlds. So we look at, when we set a GPS, if I want to drive to Phoenix from Nebraska, I'm going to set my GPS and I'm going to let it route me there. Now I'm also going to probably be wise and look at the route that it's taking me to see if I want to go that way. But it's going to plot out that route, and all I have to do is know when I drive out of my driveway, where's the next road I get to. And when I get to that next road, then I have to know what's the next road after that I'm going to turn on. And I don't need to have all the directions mapped out step by step for me to get started on the journey. I do know that I'm going to end up in Phoenix. I know that's the end result. I might know what I want the place to look like when I get there. I might want to know who I'm meeting up with when I get there. So I have that end result in mind, but I don't have to know every single step of the path along the way. So Design90 helps you look at where is the end goal? Where am I trying to get to? Where is this big result that I'm headed? And then it breaks it down into where am I at today and what's my very next step to get there. And it looks at, what are the influence and the impacts I'm going to have on my world when I accomplish this? Like, what's that going to do for me as a person? What's the ripple effect of that out to the world around me? And what's the benefit to my self-confidence, trust in myself, and how I show up in the world when I see that I can actually make progress towards these things? So many people live their life in victim mode, and I'm guilty of doing this for many years myself, where I felt like things were happening to me, and oh my gosh, the car broke down again, or whatever it is. And we live from that space of feeling like we're powerless to create change, like we're trapped and stuck, and like nothing can be any different than exactly how it is right now. But that's so not true. You are everywhere you are at today because you have made a choice to be there. Now, that might be hard news for some of you to hear, because you want to say, no, it's this person's fault, or it's that person's fault, or if this circumstance or that circumstance would change, then I could be there. No, you're making a choice to be where you're at, and you can choose to be somewhere different. It's all up to you. Now, to choose to be somewhere different means that you also have to choose to call in some tools and resources and strategies that are different than what's got you where you're at today. Now, I love the Eiffel Tower. You can see my Eiffel Tower back here, because when I visited the Eiffel Tower this past summer, I was so inspired by the story of how it was created. Number one, it took 2.2 years to build that entire structure in Paris. Something that had never been done before. It was the tallest structure that was built at that point in time. But it took almost 1 year of that time just to lay the foundation. And even the French government bailed out on the project at that point in time because they didn't see that it was actually happening. But Mr. Eiffel, he believed so strongly in what he was creating that he put his own money on the line and said, I believe in this so strongly that I am going to foot the bill for completing to build the tower. But he had to have a strong foundation in doing that, and he had to have a map of what's the next step, and he had to be flexible in the process to say, as they encountered an obstacle or whatever, they had to be flexible to say, this obstacle isn't going to stop us. Not even when the French government bailed out did it stop them. So it's like we have to look at the obstacles, but we have to not look at them as a stop sign to say, no, you shouldn't go this way, but just as a sign that there's a better path. Okay? So Design90 is going to help you look at the end result. It's going to help you look at where you're at now. It's going to teach you a 5-step process that you can use in any situation to create something new that you want. It's going to look at how can you create a foundation so solid to build on, like the Eiffel Tower. In fact, they had to shift the design of the base of it to start with because the original structure wasn't strong enough to support. So they had to create this 4-leg design that then was strong enough to support the rest of the weight of the tower. And it effortlessly supports the weight of the tower. So what you're going to be learning to do in Design90 is learn how to effortlessly create this base that's so solid that you can build as high and whatever you want on it. And you're going to learn, as I said, the 5-step process to do that. And you're going to learn how to anticipate the obstacles that might come up for you and how to put in place mechanisms so that when you encounter that obstacle, you already know how you're going to deal with it. Okay? That's the biggest thing in life, is when we encounter an obstacle and we look at that as a stop sign, and instead of pushing through it or around it, then we give up. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you give up, there is 100% chance that what you're working to have come in reality will never happen. But if you are prepared and look to those obstacles and move around them with resources and tools, then there's probably 100% chance that you're going to succeed in getting where you want to go, or to something that looks very similar or even better than where you designed going. So go ahead and check out, I'll put the link to register for Design90 in the video comments. So go ahead and check that out. And I look forward to seeing you there, because this is all about building your best wonderful life. And you know what? Why not? It's just as easy to expect awesome, cool things to happen as it is to expect negative things to happen, right? In fact, it probably takes more energy to expect negative things to happen. And we're all so programmed as our human nature to think negative. So let's take the ability and say, you know what, I can just as easily think positive. I can just as easily design a path forward as I can figure out how to stay trapped in this mess that I'm in. And take control, start steering your own boat, and life is going to give you great things. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you in Design 90. Bye-bye.